everybody, Intuitive Edge here. Welcome once again to my channel. Thanks for joining me. So by now, most of you have probably seen the news on what's been happening with the DOGE team and all of the waste or fraud or abuse allegedly that they're finding. There's been a lot. So I want to take a look intuitively to see what's going to be coming with this. Is this just another cover up, something that's going to get swept under the rug? Is there really going to be anything that comes of this? Is the American public prepared for what may be coming from this? So with the fraud and abuse that this team has been finding, will people finally be held accountable? What will they find? Is there going to be more? That kind of thing. So I'm going to shuffle up just with these general questions on the fraud that Team DOGE has uncovered, on the abuse of taxpayer funds. There's so many questions with this, but let's just shuffle up and see what comes up in the cards. And then we'll get into maybe some specifics on specific people that could be implicated. There are certain members of Congress, and you have to admit, somebody who has a salary of $175,000 a year, and they've been in Congress maybe 4 or 5 years, shouldn't be worth $8 million. That doesn't add up. So what's going on with this? Fraud and abuse of taxpayer funds, Team DOGE. What's going to be coming out? What's going to be coming up? What do we need to know? Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got. First card out, Nine of Swords. Ooh, now haven't we been seeing a lot of this lately? This is grief, panic, being scared, being upset, and there's a lot of anxiety going on right now in Washington, D.C. Crossed by the Hermit. This is a card of going within, seeking, searching, looking for something. Isn't that interesting on top of that? Card crowning this. This is a card, I call it the builder's card, but to me it's like you're strategically, look what this person is doing. They're digging for something. Pentacles usually refer to money issues, values, things we value, but he's digging underneath, looking underneath. Where does the money, follow the money? Where does it lead? What's underneath? That's what's crowning everything, is this uncovering, digging, getting to the heart of a matter underneath everything. Okay, leading up to this, we have a lot of confusion. That's a lot of kind of chaos energy, confusion, things being hidden, a lot of tumultuous energy with that. Let's see what's behind and what's before. Oh boy. Okay, so the card fading into the past. I call this the give and take card. It's a card of an exchange of energy. One person's sitting with a bunch of money and he's handing it out to someone's hand outstretched. This is about the flow of money and who's on the take and who's been doling it out. And this, it being in the past, you know what? I might move my camera so you can see this. I think I will. Hold on. I'm going to show you a different angle of this. I'll be right back. Okay, so this is a little sideways for the camera here, but let's see if I can get you a little bit on what I'm doing here. Okay, so what we have here, this is the core issue, is this card digging and searching, and this grief and anxiety. When I was looking at the past and the future, this is like moving away and moving into. This is about the flow of money, this Six of Pentacles, and crossing into this card, the Five of Pentacles. This is a card of being out in the cold. It's a card of risk and abandonment. It's being destitute. So going from this energy of money coming in, doling out, to it's drying up. It's your gravy train's cut off. The Five of Pentacles is not a happy card, and this is on the direct future. Okay, next card out, we have the Ace of Cups. I want to make sure you guys can see this okay. All right, so that's an interesting card. The card of love, the card of friendship, offering, but it's also new beginnings. So this whole situation here with this in the middle, and I call this like the bridge. We have what's happened, it's moving into the past, moving from this situation that's brewing into this, but it's going to cause a brand new, there's something very new coming out of this. Justice on the environment. Oh my gosh, guys. Justice on the environment is fascinating because this is all about bringing things back into balance and fairness. Right above that is a really interesting card. That's the Three of Swords, a card of heartbreak, being worried, having betrayal even. And who knows what types of betrayals we can have with this card coming out. That's what is worried about. That's what's feared. Let's do the last one here. The Outcome card. This is a card of taking a break, taking a rest, retreat. So some new thing is coming out with all of this. And I think the funds are definitely going to dry up. And this could really be upsetting and challenging for people who have relied on their slush funds. We have the High Priest underneath. This is the card of wisdom. So there is, I guess you could say, a new sheriff in town. But the High Priest, wisdom, he is bringing shedding new light on all of this. And the energy of that High Priest underneath all of this. This is the card crowning everything, which is digging and following the money. So yeah, we're going to see a lot come of this, and it's actually very good. This is a very positive card, but this is what's kind of overall of what's happening with all of this. Something new is coming. So with all of that, will people be held accountable? Are we going to see people being held accountable? Will there be arrests? Will anybody go to jail? How is this going to impact the Treasury? How's this going to impact the taxpayer funds that have been moved around, perhaps illegally? What's going to come of that? Let's see if we can take a look at that question. What's going to happen to the people involved? Will anybody be held accountable? Will people be held accountable for their actions? Is this going to impact those responsible that knowingly might have committed fraud or wrongdoing? Are there going to be people held accountable? We have a messenger on that. We have the future card. I'm just going to run these out really quick. There's that give and take again. Give me a minute while I lay these out. Okay, so the Page of Pentacles, crossed by the Two of Wands. That's a messenger about the future. And crowning it is this give and take again. Exchange of money, following the money. Underneath is the fear and anxiety card again. Now, interesting. The card in the past is the Eight of Cups, a card of sad change related to what they're going to be finding. This is, I think, going to be more future. Could even run into next year. This is 2025. There may not be everything coming out this year. I feel like it could stagger out a year or two, maybe even further. We have the Six of Swords on the future. Those are a card of moving on in a new direction, having to move on from something. But with that sad change, there is definitely a shift coming with the flow of money and a sad change involved with that. High Priestess is wisdom. King of Wands above that. Having to do with money. We have the Ten of Pentacles on the outcome and the Fool underneath. I would say definitely there are some people who may be implicated in wrongdoing and perhaps held accountable. It feels like there's a wall of energy that is encapsulating. Let me see what I'm pulling into. There is a wall of, I want to say like a firewall. I'm going to pause the video while I pull into this because it might take me a minute to piece together what I'm feeling. Okay, just one moment. So what I'm pulling into is like nowhere to turn, nowhere to run. It's like you're facing justice, okay? It's like when the law comes down to it and there's nowhere to run or hide, you can't hide from the law. I feel like there's nothing that you can hide from, and it's like the walls are closing in. That's what I'm feeling. And it's pushing back on this energy that is like sad, having to leave, having to move away. Could be what we're seeing. Some people may have been following that story as well. The surge of homes for sale in the DC area is crazy right now. Thousands and thousands of listings going on the market per day. And it feels like that's kind of central to what's happening, but it feels like this firewall is pushing in on all of that energy and the walls are closing in. And this is causing a lot of that anxiety, fear, grief, but also having to move, physically move. This is a card of moving. When you have to move away, move on from something, it could be literally moving away or emotionally, mentally moving on, but there is some type of movement, and it's not always what one wants at the moment, not always pleasant. But this firewall, I just feel that firewall is pushing against all of that, and it's just the walls are closing in. That's what I'm getting. So this DOGE team, we know that they've uncovered U.S. aid. They went into a bunch of things, Social Security. Oh my gosh, they're finding all kinds of crazy stuff there. And I'm assuming this will continue. So just asking the cards about this. The question is, are they going to audit Fort Knox? Are they going to see if there's any gold in Fort Knox? What are they gonna uncover at Fort Knox? Let's see what the cards said. Holy cow. Okay, so I just laid out this spread. Now, will they be auditing Fort Knox? This is a card of moving on. This is something happening quickly. The Eight of Wands about movement quick. The Knight of Swords crowning it, that is a card of taking action over this whole thing. This is about following the money, the energy flow of money. We have a strong card of partnership in the background, moving into the strength card. Based on that, without getting the other cards, that to me paints a very strong picture. Something moving quickly, partnership quickly into this strength. Now, interesting with this strength card, this guy is standing, or girl, whatever, is standing and pushing that pillar over. Taking action, movement, and knocking something over, pushing something over, a show of strength. We have the Justice card on the team, seeking justice. This is the energy of what's happening around the environment. That is heartache, betrayal, something that is not good. It's a really unhappy card. Right above that, we have taking action again. This Ace of Swords, new beginnings in communication, having to do with this sad thing, and right next to that, Strength card. Up top is the Medicine Wheel, which is the Wheel of Fortune equivalent in this deck, my Herbal Tarot deck. Medicine Wheel is fate, karma, destiny. Something is destined to happen. Underneath is my favorite card, the Queen of Swords. The Queen of no BS, the Queen of getting to the bottom of things. Are they going to audit Fort Knox? In my opinion, the cards support that notion that we may actually find what's in there after all these years. You know, it's been almost 50 years since the gold was audited. And that was right about the time we went off of the gold standard. Isn't that interesting? That's going to be fascinating to see what they find. And the next question is the DOGE team going to audit the National Institutes of Health, the NIH? First card out on that is the Death card. Major Arcana crossed by the Six of Wands. This card up top is the Emperor. Card underneath is the Chariot. These are both very strong cards of movement. We have the Death, the Emperor, and the Chariot. Fading into the background, we also have that Knight of Swords, a card of taking action, facing right into this. The Ace of Swords. That is movement on communications. I would say that's a strong possibility. Okay, next card out on the DOGE team is the Medicine Wheel, the Wheel of Fortune, fate, karma, destiny, things that are destined, moving, motion. And once again, we have the card of the give and take, follow the money. Oh, you know what? I'm just getting just a flash for a moment there intuitively. There is some type of fund that is underneath. I'm just seeing what I'm feeling into. At the National Institutes of Health, there's, of course, their budget, their money that goes out, but there's like a sub thing underneath, a sub fund. If you're a bookkeeper, there's a sub fund that is like a large pool that it's almost like pieces trickle into this sub fund. And it's kind of like, you see the stuff on top, but you don't really see this other fund underneath. They're going to uncover that. Okay. I don't know what that is. Maybe if you're a bookkeeper, clue me in, but there's a sub fund that's going to be doxed, uncovered, something. Okay. Next card out is the Lovers, the card of partnership, and this card of moving on again. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they're going to audit the NIH card of the Star underneath. So I think they're going to find something really important having to do with something, the way that the NIH has been doing their funding. It's going to be on the teetering if it's shady. Some are going to say, oh, that's not shady, that's the way it's done. And other people are going to go, no, that's really shady. It shouldn't be done that way. They're going to uncover something that appears to be shady, but it's maybe on the fringe of what's legal and what's not. So the argument can be made that it's not illegal what they're doing. It's just maybe shady. Okay, mark that. We'll see how that pans out, but that's what I'm getting intuitively. Some fund, or the way that they're funding programs, is on the line, and it could be challenged, perhaps. It's definitely going to get some people upset or draw attention to it or something. Feels like the DOGE team, I'm getting like more people being brought in that are helping with this, but there's more to come. There's also something with the letter L. What am I picking up on? L. I don't know if it's one of the things that they're going to be auditing. Is there a department that starts with L? That doesn't ring a bell with me, but maybe there is something with the letter L with the audit. They're going to audit something with the letter L. Something starts with L. I don't know if this has to do with libraries. You know, they have like the Library of Congress, there's presidential libraries. I don't know what those have to do with DOGE, but there's something L. I wish I could pull in on what that word is. But there's something else. They're going to be audited. They're going to find something. This is going to circle back to something else that starts with an A. Just getting like letters, okay? Something L is going to uncover something that circles back to something they've already uncovered. It's like I guess they're just following the money trail. And that's just, that card keeps coming up, that Six of Pentacles, like the exchange of energy, where the money's going. We're following where the money's going. That's going to continue. What is this L? It keeps coming back to me, the L. Let me know if you know of something that starts with L that they might be auditing. Let me know in the comments if you know what that is. I'm also getting law enforcement. Maybe that's the L I'm getting. This is going to get really, really heated up soon. So I asked if the DOGE team is going to continue their work in uncovering fraud, abuse. Is that going to continue? I know that there are efforts to shut them down, to silence them, to say, no, you can't do that. You can't go there. Are they going to continue? I've got the Emperor. Emperor crossed by the Eight of Wands. I'd say that's 100%. They're going to continue. There's nothing going to stop them. Yeah, Ace up top. No, courts are not going to be successful stopping this DOGE team. Even though they might try. There's some conflict leading up to this. Page in the background and this card of being on the defense. Yeah, they're not going to be stopped. Judgment card, Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, and Two of Swords. Whew, Two of Swords on the outcome is interesting because that's a card of being in denial or not wanting to look at something, and yet the light is shining and it's time to look at something. It's time to take off the blindfold, pull down the mask, and come to terms with the truth. This is a card of like a reward or some type of message coming in that wants to get through. But yeah, they're definitely continuing on their mission. This is do or die. We either do it now or not at all. We got to get this done. That's the Judgment card, and that's on the team itself. So yeah. Yeah, courts might try, but they're not going to succeed in stopping them. So I want to know what's going on with Washington, D.C. Oh my gosh, have you seen, and I alluded to it earlier, but there are so many homes that have gone on the market, like thousands and thousands of homes, suddenly just a glut of homes. What is the situation in Washington, D.C. with all of these people that are leaving? Let's look at this. What do the cards have to say with all of these people? A lot of them, you know, not all of them are criminals. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, the rats are all fleeing. Maybe they're not all rats, okay? Some people simply, maybe they lost their job at one of these, you know, when they're gutting some of these agencies. You just lose your job. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. But if you lose your job and you don't have a way to support yourself, then you got to move, right? There's nothing left in town for you, and maybe it's like, I'd rather just move on with my life someplace else. So is that what's really happening here? I don't doubt that there are some people who are criminals, who have done wrong, and who are trying to skedaddle before the axe falls. But, you know, let's see what's going on in Washington, D.C. with all of this movement and all of these people moving out. Oh my gosh. You know, this guy's got his knapsack on and he looks like he's gearing up to leave. He's on a trip, moving, walking away from something. That's a messenger that's going to continue. Oh my gosh. The card of sad change crossing it. I mean, seriously, sad change, having to move. And this is a card of refusal up top of that. It's like, you don't want to believe something. This is something that's like, you don't want to have to do this. But it's kind of like pushed upon you. The Hermit is the card of the seeker, soul searching, looking at within, trying to figure out what to do. We have a struggle card and the card of, it's the biggest card of movement in the entire tarot deck is this card. And this is on the future. the card of the Chariot, the quintessential card of things moving on. And it carries a lot of weight. It's a major arcana. This is in the background, kind of struggle. Five of Wands. But yes, movement. Temperance is having to try to keep the peace, maintain stasis if you can. We have the Eight of Pentacles, which is the card of work. So movement, looking for work. I think a lot of these people are simply like, I'm better off moving out of DC, finding some work someplace else. Yeah, there's a lot of jobs that are opening and a lot of jobs that are leaving. And yeah, Queen of Pentacles. This is wanting stability in finances. That's the goal with a lot of these people. The Four of Swords is taking a break, a rest, moving on. Some people I think are probably going to take that severance and take some time to go see where else they want to live. The Four of Swords, taking a break, taking a rest. And that's what this feels like. We're moving in a new direction. And again, underneath all of this is that we're bringing back this card of being in denial, not wanting to face the truth of what's happening. It's like, this is really not what people want to be doing. And maybe it was sprung on them suddenly and they're having to be pushed into this situation where I have to move. I have to move. And again, I think that's a lot of good people, okay? I don't think a lot of these people are criminals. I don't. A lot of them are just, they're caught up in what's happening in Washington, D.C., where waste, abuse, fraud, all of that is kind of coming to light. And when that happens, you cut back and they're just caught up in the middle of it. So I do think there are some people who are abusing the system though, and that's kind of fueling this. It's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, they're definitely having to move on, and unwillingly, I think, at this point. Okay, a little bit more rapid fire. I did my little method that I use, writing out sentences and feeling the energy. So here's some things that I got. Now, I don't know, guys, I don't know if this is gonna pan out. We'll see. Just a caveat, this is what I got intuitively. These are my opinions. So be that as it may. I do get that Ilhan Omar may be sent back involuntarily to her home country of Somalia. I do think that with AOC being referred to the Justice Department, she may face prosecution, but ultimately, I don't know if she will be convicted of a crime. Anthony Fauci. Let's take a look at this one. This one kind of surprised me. And I almost don't want to say it here, but I'm going to because I brought it up. And again, this is just what I got intuitively. So take what you will with it. Take it with a grain of salt or a whole lot of salt. Recently, Russia asked that Dr. Fauci be sent to them to face prosecution for his role in the C-19 pandemic. According to my method that I use for testing my intuition, I get that that will happen. And it will happen this year, 2025. And the ending is not going to be a nice ending for Dr. Fauci. That's all I'm going to say on that, but that's what I got. All right, guys, I think that's it for now. That was my intuitive take on things coming up in the world, things happening, and there's a lot going on. It's almost impossible to keep up with the news cycle. The world is turning very quickly, and lots is happening. Lots is happening. A lot. Okay. All right, everybody. We'll catch you in the next video. Take care. Bye for now.